In this video, I'm going to show you how to assemble the puzzle cube. I'm going to start out by placing the yellow part first. Start out by creating a new assembly. We're going to place our first part, come up to this menu, and pull this little menu down and select Place. Navigate to your Documents folder and find the yellow part that you created earlier. Select Open. Right mouse button, place grounded at origin. Right mouse button, OK. Now look at your front view and navigate around such that this is your front view. Should look like this, with that as your front view. Select your context menu and set current view as front. So now if you look on your view cube, this view is your front view. And if you look at your ISO, it should look like that. I'm going to place my second part. I'm going to place the orange part. Place it down and right mouse button OK. I'm going to use this command. It's called Constraint. In my constraint menu, I'm going to select this option, Flush. It should be highlighted blue. I'm going to point to this face, and I want it pointing in the same direction as this face. Select Apply. Let's do the same command. I'm going to select this face. You notice the arrow pointing away from that face, and I'm going to select this face and apply. I'm going to hit cancel this time. At any point in time, I could move these parts. Notice I could grab the part and move it around. And notice also that I've locked it in two directions. This face is flush with this face, and this face is flush with this face. And I want to lock it in place by having this face touching this face. So I'm going to use the constraint command again. And this time I want to use this option. It's called Mate. This should be highlighted blue. I'm going to point to this face and this face and select Apply and Cancel. Now the parts are locked in place and they cannot move. The yellow part was grounded because we grounded it when we first placed it. You notice there's a little pin next to the yellow part telling me that it's grounded. Now at any point in time, my constraints will not work, or I've made a mistake. You can come to your browser and open up your part. In this case, I just opened up the orange part. And you notice here are your constraints that you created. I created 3. And at any point in time, I can delete these constraints and delete all 3 and start over if, for whatever reason, my constraint commands are not working. And that's what you should do. If you have problems, if you run into problems, just delete all your constraints one at a time and then start over. Next, I'm going to place the red part. I'm going to go to Place, select the red part, open it, place it right mouse button, OK. And go back to my constraint command. And I want to choose this one more time, the flush command. Make sure this is highlighted blue. Rotate it around, and I'm going to point to this surface and this surface. I want them pointing in the same direction. Select Apply. Using the same command, flush, I'm going to point to this surface and this surface. Select Apply and select Cancel. And notice I can move this part, but only in one direction. I constrained this surface flush with this surface and this surface flush with that one. Now I want to mate this surface down to this surface. So I'm going to create another constraint. This time make sure it says you've highlighted the mate option. And I'm going to point to this surface and to this surface. Apply, cancel. So there's my assembly. Your parts should look like this. I'm going to place the green part. Place it, right mouse button, OK. I'm going to select Constraint. I'm going to select the flush option, and I'm going to point to this face and to the top of the red. Select Apply. Still in the flush command, I'm going to select this surface and this surface. Select Apply. And now notice I've constrained I'm going to hit Cancel. I can move my green block in and out. Cannot move it up and down because these two surfaces are flush, and I cannot move it side to side because these two surfaces have been constrained flush. Now I want to mate these two surfaces, that surface and that surface. So I'm going to go back to my constraint, and I'm going to make sure that the mate option is highlighted, and I'm going to point to this surface and to this surface and select Apply and Cancel. And now notice that my green part is locked in place. My assembly should look like this. I'm going to place my last part, the blue part. Select Blue, Open, place it, right mouse button, OK. Select Constraint, make sure you have the flush option highlighted, and I'm going to point to this surface and this surface. Select Apply. I'm going to point to this surface and this surface. Apply and Cancel. And now notice that my blue part is constrained on two axes. This surface here is flush with this surface, and the top surface of the blue part is flush with the top of the red part. Now I only need to mate this surface here with one of these surfaces here. So I'm going to go back to my constraint command. Make sure that the mate option is selected. Point to this surface and to this surface and select OK. And now all my parts are completely constrained. They can't be moved. And my assembly is complete. I'm going to save my assembly. I'm going to call it 4.1 Puzzle Cube Assembly. Save it. I'm not going to save it at this time. I've already done it earlier. And in the next video, I'll show you how to create the drawing for this puzzle cube assembly.